Hey, it's Professor Grabowski. In my previous video, I covered the basics of copyright law. Well, there's this fascinating aspect of it called contributory infringement that you should know about. It's all about how technology can encourage folks to copy and share copyrighted stuff like music and movies, and it can sometimes lead to legal trouble. As technology keeps advancing, this contributory infringement thing has been popping up more and more. Way back in the late 1970s, Sony introduced the VCR, which allowed people to record TV shows for personal use. Sounds cool, right? But then movie studios sued Sony, claiming that selling these VCRs was basically helping people infringe copyrights. Fast forward to 1984, and this case ended up at the US Supreme Court. And guess what? Sony won. The court said that just because a technology can potentially be used for copyright infringement doesn't mean the tech company is to blame for how people use it. In the early 2000s, we had another showdown, Napster. It was this file sharing service where people could swap music files online. Major music labels were not thrilled because users were sharing copyrighted songs left and right. In 2000, a court issued a preliminary injunction against Napster, shutting it down. The court ruled that Napster was indeed liable for contributory infringement. Unlike the VCR, Napster's primary purpose was to enable users to exchange copyrighted content without authorization from copyright owners. Today, we've got a whole new problem: streaming movies and TV shows online. Streaming on the internet is the most popular way Americans watch TV and movies now, even more popular than network TV, cable TV, and traditional movie theaters. Legit services like Netflix and Hulu pay big bucks for the rights to stream content. But what about YouTube? Users sometimes upload copyrighted movies there, so isn't YouTube liable for contributory infringement too? Nope. YouTube is more like the VCR. It's a platform mainly used for users to share their stuff, not for copyright dodging. Plus, YouTube gets some legal protection under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, or Dmca. This law offers a safe harbor to websites and apps, shielding them from copyright trouble caused by their users. To stay in the safe harbor, these services providers have to follow certain rules, like quickly taking down copyrighted content when notified by the owners. On the flip side, we've got these shady streaming and torrent sites like 123 Movies and the Pirate Bay that provide access to copyrighted movies without permission. Unlike YouTube, they seem to thrive on dodging copyright laws and don't put much effort into stopping infringement. Websites like these are walking a fine line and could find themselves in the crosshairs of contributory infringement claims for sharing unauthorized content. So who gets in trouble for illegal streaming and content sharing? Well, in 2020, Congress passed the Protecting Lawful Streaming Act, and it's pretty straightforward. The folks who upload movies to streaming platforms without permission, and those platforms themselves, can get in trouble with the law, unless they play by the Dmca rules. Nonetheless, shutting down these illegal websites can prove to be challenging for law enforcement, primarily because many of them operate overseas, beyond the jurisdiction of the United States. But here's the good news for us viewers. The regular internet users who are just streaming these infringing videos are off the hook. You won't face any copyright issues just by watching stuff online. Lastly, don't mix up the Dmca with Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. Both are important internet laws, but they deal with different stuff. The Dmca is all about copyright protection and liability for copyright infringement. Section 230, on the other hand, handles the responsibilities and liabilities of websites when it comes to user-generated content, including issues like defamation and harmful content. Understanding these laws is the key to navigating the digital world. And if you find yourself working at a tech or media company that's all about user-generated content, you definitely want to get familiar with both of these laws. They're kind of a big deal. Well, once again, this has been Professor Grabowski, and thanks for watching.